Hello and welcome to the Real Gary Tussey Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything that could ever amount to anything or everything to anybody and everybody who ever intends to amount to something. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Real Gary Tussey Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We have our live feed Facebook crew in here with us enjoying the live feed this morning. So we love linking all those together. You can reach out to us at realgarytussey.com. That's our page. That's our website. It's up and crawling. We're still filling in the blank on that. Well, actually, by the time you hear this podcast, hopefully it's going to be full blown. So we are building that website, and it's amazing. And all the information that we share on our podcast and on our live feed, you can be linked to that information on our website. Also, you can email me at realgarytussey@gmail.com. So get over there, and you can shout out to me, because some information is going to be longer than what you can tweet. I do also have a Twitter account, and I forget to how to tell you to get to that, so we'll do that for another time. Shout out, I'm always thankful to those who have helped to make me and brought me to where I am and what we do and contributed. You know, if you're successful, if you're not, we'll help you get there. But if you are successful, it's some people have helped to contribute to that success. And so it being Music Friday, Thursday and Friday, I want to shout out to music makers in Old Town in Berea, Danny and Randall down there. They're luthiers actually, but they specialize in repair, as well as here in Richmond, Don Brandenburg does. Good friend of mine, and great musician as well. These guys are all great musicians, and if you're in, you may have an instrument. I don't care what it is. These guys can work on it if it needs repaired or adjustments, or maybe you bought a guitar and it never really has been set up like you would like for it to be. These guys can customize as well. So shout out to them. Thanks, guys, for being part of my life. Okay. Thursday and Friday is music, fast cars, and fun times, and talking about and with and for people who make music happen, and who also some people just enjoy music. Somebody said one time, and I couldn't believe it, so I do reference this a lot because I can't imagine this. They said one time that, Gary, I don't really listen to music unless it is a jingle or a introduction to a sitcom or the news or something. I don't really listen to music. I was sad for that person because I couldn't fathom it myself, because I make myself have some morning. Cuz Tom's on, man. Good to see you this morning. Special place in my heart for the early riser, especially when they're flesh and blood. Love this guy, man. When I talk about my grandpa who taught me guitar, who lived right around the corner from me, Tom knows what I'm talking about. He'll tell you I'm legit, right? Love that guy. So I hope you're doing well, Tom. So people who are not involved in music or don't know a lot about music, you may enjoy the benefits of it and not even realize it. We've been talking about and just got finished recording another, I think it was the third series of what the music that you like, how it speaks for your personality trait. But today, on today's podcast, I want to ask this question, and I gave the number earlier. You can call in if you like. I gave the number earlier. I don't repeat it on the podcast because I don't want it can't be published yet, because we don't have call screeners and all that, and producers. Don, good morning. Been talking about you already, but I didn't want to wake you up, so I didn't talk too loud. Good morning. We're talking about music, and I'm asking the question, does it unite us or divide us? And is one of those, should it unite us or should it divide us? I've always promised I won't take a drink of coffee while I'm producing the podcast, but I just broke that promise because I needed a drink. Thank you for indulging me in that. All right, so I'm going to read a study that I pulled up, and I do find it, isn't Google, what can't we do with Google? I mean, ask a question. Google is going to have an answer, and most of the answers are really fundamental and can really advance your situation. Well, that's how I do a lot of the study and the prep for our show. So I'm going to read this, and then we're going to discuss it a little bit. It's not real long, and which is the case for most things you find on the internet. It gets right to the point. So. What site did I pull this from? Oh, mercy. I can't read it. Oh, no. All right. So, here we go. Don't look. Oh, wait. We are live feed. Don't look. I pulled this off of, radians.co.nz. Always got to give credit for, where we're resourcing from, right? Ready? Okay, good. So I did that, but let me read this. It's very, very interesting. Does music unite us or divide us? Over the years, many celebrities have used let me tell you this too about Real Gary Tussey. Although I pulled this up in research, I skim briefly, but I mostly cold read because I want to be shocked too. So here we go. This is not real. I'm just reading this. Does music unite or divide us? Over the years, many celebrities have used their influence to promote harmony, often by making songs that call for action or change, or in the case of John Lennon, giving peace a chance. It's often said that music unites us and songs can be a powerful force in spreading messages of peace. But, here we go. But a recent piece of research by Samantha Dickman at the University of Melbourne proposes that music can also drive us apart and be equally divisive. How about that? Really, I don't think this is news, but think about it. Because we've been talking about what's music say about your personality. Then as I read some of those personality traits, we realize opposites enjoy, different things. And it doesn't mean it makes us, because we have different viewpoints, often if we will not write each other off and be attentive to each other and listen occasionally, we might actually learn something, right? So I know this much: you will not advance your life if you only surround your life with people who think exactly like you do. That's a downward spiral. All right. Anyway, but I'm continuing to read now. Music is a powerful force, she says, that can promote empathy. Playing music together, when you're playing music, I love this. This is part of what I skimmed. Playing music together, you're forced to direct your attention outside of yourself. There you go. In order to successfully play music with other people, you have to engage with what they're doing, become in sync with them. Well, that's not news to us. I saw on campus the other day a plaque up on one of the the boards you put things, bulletin board, sorry. Up on the bulletin board, it said, don't sweat the details. Said no musician ever. But the other side, I'm reading now again, but the other side of that coin is people can be brought together in opposition to others. These properties in music that are able to galvanize in music can be done in a way that instead of building bridges, it creates division between people. So you are creating this unity between people who already consider themselves to be alike, and maybe in a way that's oppositional to other people. An example of this was during the Yugoslav Civil War. Now, again, I'm reading this cold, so let's see where it's going to take us. The government far-right regime was appropriating this style of music called turbo folk. Okay, I chuckled, sorry. Turbo folk for political ends, to push their political agenda of nationalism, using it as a way to prove cultural superiority. Well, I think that's interesting. It's my opinion now, but I think that's very subjective. Okay. which is fine. You can interject your opinion, and you can be very subjective as well. All right. In Northern Ireland, music was used as a way for loyalists and Republicans to cement separate identities, and U.S. soldiers in Iraq used metal and rap music to amp themselves up for battle, she says. Now, gleaning motivation for action is different than a political agenda. Now, if you're going to communicate a political agenda with music, words are necessary. Are you hearing me? So you're actually communicating a phrase or a thought with the rhythm and the tone that you're applying. Having said that, I just got the idea for what we're going to do next week. I better write this down. For what we're going to do next week on Thursday and Friday music. Where are all the pens that are always? Here's one. Okay, it's going to be red, but I'll be able to make a note. You know what we're going to talk about next week on Real Gary Tussey on the music segment on Thursday and Friday? I'm making a big old note right here because we're going to talk about what, and I'm writing this down while I'm talking, what you can get away with. Are you hearing me? If you just set it to music. I thought about this. Now I'm going to expand on this. It's going to be very entertaining. I thought about this. Conway Twitty got away with things I can't believe. Are you kidding me? Did he really say that? I mean, how many people can actually get away with, I'm lying here with Linda on my mind, and next to me, the one I'm soon to leave behind? And I thought, so he gets away with saying that. Why? Because he said it to and guess what? Then that gets in people's mind. Why? That phrase gets in people's mind. Why? Because the melody is amazing, and the music is amazing, and the rhythm is amazing, and his voice is amazing. So I thought, if we can get away with things like that, we can get away and literally almost say anything because it's set to music. Then it occurred to me, well, you know, I'm lying here with Linda on my mind, and next to me was soon to be the one I left behind. Well, then what about, I'm lying here with fishing on my mind, because you don't want to tell her because she hates for you to go fishing. And next to me, the soon to be the one I left behind. She'll go for it if you sing it, right? Or, if she says it like this, I'm lying here with the car wreck I was in on my mind, and next to me, the one that if I tell him, he's going to kick my behind. But you can get away with it if you sing it, and it's amazing. And this is very kind of G-rated as to things we can really get away with, that people really get away with when they're singing. Well, what brought that up was what we just talked about, is does music divide us or does it unite us? I feel like overall it unites us, and I also feel like that overall we need to embrace the differences, learn from it, and glean from each other's wealth of experience, and thus real contributors, so that we have reel-to-reel segments on this program. We're out of time for today. Encouraging you here at the Real Gary Tussey Podcast, live and let live, be free and set free, and apply a high-energy pursuit to happiness. Tussey out.